India's startups and corporate raised over 29,000 crore in FY 2025 via private equity and venture capital deals. But here's what most people don't know. These deals don't happen in isolation. Behind every big transaction, there are investment banks, venture capitalists, private equity guys working together. They collaborate by finding deals, structuring it, and closing on investments. In this video, we'll understand how they collaborate with one another, how they share deals, and finally why this ecosystem depends upon trust and relationships. Hey there, my name is Karan Damania. I'm an ex-investment banker turned founder, and through Encoding Careers, we help you build successful career in finance. So let's get onto the screen and start understanding this IBPEVC core finance ecosystem. So here most of the people have a thought in mind that it is investment banking versus private equity versus venture capital, but in reality they are not competing with one another. They are collaborating and facilitating the entire ecosystem. So in the coming slides we are going to understand how they work with one another. When a deal comes to investment banking, how they share it with others, and when the deal comes to venture capital or private equity guys, how they work with investment banks. And also we are going to understand how the trust building and relationship works in this entire ecosystem. So let's get started with the first slide, where we are going to understand the entire finance ecosystem by understanding who's who. So all the three parties that we understood in the first slide, we are going to understand what are their roles. So first is investment bank. They are the advisors who structure, value, and execute deals. So for an example, let's take a client who is a startup company and they want to go for a fundraise. So when a company wants to expand themselves, they are going to need funding from outside, either in the form of equity by diluting their share, or either they can raise debt. Now investment bankers are the firm who will be there in the minds of company whenever they decide to go for a fundraise. As the name suggests, investment banking, so they are the ones who provide investment to the company. Now they will not be the one who are going to provide investment, so they are only the advisors who structure, value, and execute deals. So when a client is going for fundraising, that is entirely called as a deal, and in the role of investment banker would be to structure this deal, what will be the value of the company, and then execute the process. So they are just an intermediary facilitating the entire process. Now the second party comes into the picture, which is a venture capital. So venture capital is a company who has funds of other investors, where they have pooled a sum of money and they are funding early stage startup companies with high growth potential. So as the name suggests, venture. So venture means if someone is starting out a new thing, where they are at an early stage, and the company or the venture capital guys are seeing potential in them, that this company can grow, their revenues can grow, their profitability, then the venture capital guys will give money to them for growing. So in the first case of investment banking, we understood that they were facilitating the entire process. So when a client wants to go for fundraising, investment bankers might connect them to venture capital firms for providing this funding. So that is how these two collaborate. Then we have third party, which is private equity, which invest in mature businesses for growth or turnaround. So now when venture capital businesses invest into startup companies, they are at early stage. When these companies whom venture capital guys have provided money grow in the size, at that time the venture capital guys would exit this company and are going to realize the investment that they had made. Now where are they going to sell this company to? So they might go to a private equity player saying that this is the mature business we have, it has been in the industry for 10 to 15 years now and has this amount of revenue. So as we have pointer over here for private equity, they only invest in mature businesses for growth or turnaround. So private equity is also similar to venture capital, where they are pooling funds from different investors into their fund, and from this fund they are going to invest into mature businesses. The difference between venture capital and private equity is the stage at which they invest and the size of the ticket that they are investing into companies. That is about the three main layers of finance ecosystem that we are going to understand about in the coming slides. So before we understand how they collaborate with one another and what deals are they sharing with one another, first we will have to understand how these people are building network with one another. So how investment bankers network and build relationship. Since we are more focused on investment banking as a career path, we are going to look from the perspective of bankers. The venture capital guys, private equity guys also do these kind of networking, but since our career aim is to start into investment banking, this is what this entire presentation will be oriented towards it. So where do these connections happen? Right. So most importantly, we need to understand that meeting with investment bankers, venture capital, private equity players will not happen in random events, right? So it would be very difficult to reach out to these people on LinkedIn and getting responses from them. Like the conversion ratio will be very low. So most of the time you will find these core finance players during the industry events or conferences. So there are a lot of private equity VC summits where the portfolio companies are represented, or there might be talks around a particular industry. There are startup expos going around. So in the coming slide we'll show you one example that we got invite for a particular event. So what was that event, who were joining those events? So that is for next slide. But for industry events and conferences, these people are coming, they are networking with one another. If there is a tech summit going around, so there will be a lot of tech startups who will be putting up their pop-up stores, and they might be showcasing their products. So here venture capital guys might go there to see if the tech company that are placing their pop-up stores are investable or not. Investment bankers might go over there to understand if there are any potential deals that might come. Private equity guys will also be there, but if they will not be there for startup expos, mainly because they invest in mature companies. So they might go on to attending some big events like Auto Expo, or there might be events that are happening on a national level. So there a lot of big players come, and they are the target clients for private equity investors. So that is about industry events and conferences. Next is club membership and alumni events. So you might have seen in a lot of movies that take place around finance as a topic, that a lot of these people go for golf playing, and there they are networking, sharing deals with one another. So golf is a sport that is very exclusive, and not everyone has access to these membership clubs where there are golf courts. So you might find these high stake people playing golf around there, and there if you get someone to network with and get membership of these clubs, then it might be very valuable, because you are going to find the ecosystem players over there. But it is going to be very difficult at initial stages. But as you level up and grow your career in this industry, you might be given access to different clubs and membership to go on network there, have breakfast and dinner lunches with these people, and build network and find deals. So that is about thing. So when I was also doing my investment banking job, we used to have club membership of good clubs in Mumbai, which were exclusive invite only clubs. So there the senior people of the team used to go, they used to network with people, talk and build relationships, and see if there is any potential of getting them onboarded as our client. So that is an opportunity that you guys will also have if you start in investment banking or any other allied core finance industry, because you are not going to find these leads easily, like just on Facebook or doing digital marketing, right? So finding leads and potential businesses has to be followed this way, by building network and relationship. So other than that, other than clubs, there is B school group. So a lot of big investment banks hire people from B schools. So these B schools are also the tier one. Like investment banks are not going to go to a tier two, tier three MBA school and hire people from there, because they want very well-rounded, educated person who understands the industry, who has all of those soft skills and is ready for the role, right? So they recruit from there. So now if someone is recruited from IIM Ahmedabad, and in the past there are a lot of people that have been hired in investment bank from IIM Ahmedabad. So someone working in investment bank who is from IIM Ahmedabad would reach out to someone who has been already working in the investment banking division from the same school, and they might build their network and share commonalities between them. That is one common point that can be added when you are focusing on building relation. Other than that, CFA Society also hosts a lot of events around different topics in core finance and finance as a general. So there also people from VCs, private equity might come in to share insights or to host a particular event. So there also there is networking opportunities. So that is about club membership, alumni network. Then we have personal references. So here past clients, law firms, consultants and mutual connects help investment banks to connect with one another and then leverage those network. Past client, we can easily understand if your investment bank has worked with a particular client, and in the client's network someone wants to raise funds or go for any allied services of investment bank, they might refer them to you. Then law firms are also very important, because in our video of entire IPO process, which explains about the timeline, we understood that the entire IPO process is not only handled by investment bankers. There are a lot of other ecosystem players that are involved into it. So it is not just investment bankers' job to facilitate these deals. So some deals might go to a law firm where the client wants to work upon a particular compliance, but they also want to raise funds. So the law firm might refer it to our investment bank, and then we might take the lead and deal ahead. So law firms can give us the leads, consultants can give us leads, CA firms can give us leads. So that way, the more the network of different firms that you have, the more leads might come to you. So those are personal references. Then mutual connects, definitely, if you have a friend who wants to raise funds, then those deals can also be worked upon. Then regular catch-ups, this is very common in investment banks. So whatever networking you are doing, you directly don't reach out to them for deal talks, right? So first you are going to have a catch-up. So that could be over a coffee meeting or investors dinner or deal roundtable. So for coffee meetings, whenever you go for an event or alumni networking, there you come across someone who is going to be potentially interested in your service. Then you invite them for a coffee meeting, discuss about their past, discuss about what they are working upon, and then you come to a deal. So a lot of time these investment bankers are going to do these coffee meetings. Then there are investor dinners. So when investment bankers have a lot of deals going on, they have to build connects with venture capital, private equity guys, so that they can potentially to execute upon these deals. So that is where investment bankers have to do constant lunch and dinners with these investors to share deals and constantly keep in touch with them. And similarly, deal roundtable. So here you might invite a lot of VCP guys, and then invite your startups to talk about their potential startup. And that is how deal roundtables work. Everyone is sitting around the table and then having discussion upon things. So all of these are very high stake events, and it has to be managed very well. So that is how entire networking takes place, and people in investment bank build relationship with one another. So bankers don't just wait for deals, they create them through relationships. So as mentioned that if you are starting out in investment banking, you would have to be a proactive person to network with others. You can definitely start up on LinkedIn, have conversations, but make sure that you go for a physical meeting, because that is where you can share a lot of things. You can understand their perspective, what they need, and that is how a trust and bond is formed with other person. So that we are going to understand entirely in the last slide, how you can capitalize upon networking and leverage for your own career. So this is an event that we got personally I got invite for to attend it, since we run encoding careers and I am the founder of it. It was an event for founders, investors and ecosystem leaders. So ecosystem, as mentioned earlier, that venture capital, private equity, investment bank all come into the picture over here. So it was hosted by a VC firm based out of Mumbai. So it's Mumbai Pitch Day. They were going to invite some of their startup companies, and the investors could then ask questions, and then there was a networking sessions at the end. So here it is written, high growth startups from VC Cat's portfolio will present their stories. So if some investor is interested in investing into the company, they might take the deal ahead and then execute upon it. So investment bankers can also get involved over here to pitch to the startups that we have a investor in our mind, and we can take your mandate ahead. So that is about how events take place. It is most of the time invite only. So if someone in your firm is senior and they have good connects, so they might get these kind of events. And then if you're starting out as an analyst associate, the senior person might give you the invite, and then you can go for these events. So that is how entire networking takes place. It is very tight knit industry. Like if you don't have good network, then you might not be able to access these people. So it is very important that you start small, start building network with small investment banks. Then you can level up to venture capital, private equity guys. So you need to take steps to start networking. So to sustain in the industry, you would have to start taking initial steps and level up upon those. All right. So now we are going to understand, when clients approach investment banks, then what happens? Like, how do they collaborate with one another? So here, when a client comes for investment bank, either they could come for funding or it could be for M&A. Like, we are not taking sales and trading into account over here. because that is entirely separate ball game, and not a lot of investment banks have these sales and trading division. So for us, investment banking would be funding or M&A for our understanding purpose. So now who will they approach? So the investment banks are going to work upon the entire deal process. They are going to make the company investor ready. Then they are going to structure the entire deal, like who what product to be used. Either we should go for equity funding or debt funding. Then who is going to be approached? So when companies seek capital or plan to sell, so when they are seeking capital, it could be fundraising process. When they are planning to sell, it could be mergers and acquisition process. So they reach out to investment banks. Now investment banks are going to evaluate whether the deal suits venture capital or private equity based upon stage and sector. So as mentioned earlier in the first slide, that venture capital are going to invest into startup or early stage companies, and private equity guys are going to invest into mature businesses. Now the client that has come to investment bank will have to be studied, like are they a startup company, or are they a mature business, and basis that the investment bankers are going to look into their network and then take the deal ahead. So investment bankers then introduce investors, negotiate terms, and structure the entire transaction. This ensures the right investor meets the right company at the right time. Here investment bankers are going to introduce the client to the investors. So if it's a startup company, then venture capital guys might be introduced. If it's a mature business, then private equity guys might be introduced. Then they are going to negotiate terms. So investment bankers will be always there in the middle. They will be facilitating the entire process, and they are the ones who are going to negotiate with the VC guys and the client. Most of the time talks happen about the valuation. So venture capital guys might want the valuation to be on the lower hand. The client wants the valuation to be higher, because they think that their business is going to be next level and it is going to expand like anything. So that is where investment bankers have to give reality check to both the parties, and facilitate and negotiate between the terms. And they are going to structure their transaction. So they might reach out to legal team, and then entire documentation and structuring would takes place. That is also a role of investment banker. So investment bankers are matchmakers of investment world. So as we understood that investment banks themselves don't have any money to invest into a particular client, they reach out to VCs, PEs, and basis that the entire process is facilitated. So that is when clients approach IB. Now we are going to look on the other side of the table. When do private equity and venture capital firms approach investment banks? So for this, the relationship works both ways. So it's not only going to be from investment bank side that they are going to reach out to venture capital and private equity for fundraising or mergers and acquisition, but when private equity and venture capital have invested their own money into a particular company, they might reach out to investment banks also. Now, when is it so? So number one, when the PEVC guys want to exit a portfolio company. We know that venture capital and private equity business invest into a particular company. Now they are not going to stay into this company for lifelong. They might have a set period for the fund. It could be 5 years, 7 years, and after that they have to exit this portfolio company. Now when they want to exit, it becomes quite difficult for them to reach out to people for every company that they have. So they might reach out to investment bankers with a set of companies, that these are the companies that we have. If you have any investor, any secondaries, any company that wants to invest into this, we might be happy to look into it. So that is where investment bankers are going to reach out to people in their network and then pitch these companies. The exit could work on a secondary or a strategic sale. So if the company is listed, then secondary sale might happen. If the company wants to go for acquisition or merger, so that would be strategic sale to other company, or it could be IPO. So for private equity businesses, most of the time we knew that they invest into mature businesses. Now mature businesses most of the time go to exit via IPOs. So here investment bankers will be facilitating this entire IPO process. That is how the exits takes place. Other than that, also finding co-investor for large funding round. So if a venture capital firm wants to invest into a particular company, right, but the client is demanding more funding than their ticket size. So here the venture capital guys can also reach out to investment banks that we want some co-investors for this large funding round because we want to participate into it. So then IBs would reach out to other network, other people in their network, and then the entire large round would be facilitated. Then identifying acquisition targets for portfolio companies. So when we talk about private equity, there most of the companies are mature businesses, like they are huge in size, and they are then looking to grow their businesses even further by expanding geographically or increasing their top line, cutting the cost and making the business very optimized. Most of the time the portfolio companies in the private equities fund are run by private equity guys. So here, to expand geographically, they are not going to set up a new firm everywhere. So what they might do, they might acquire small companies, and for the portfolio company they would increase the size of the business. So that is where the investment banks might come into the picture. So if a portfolio company of private equity is into diagnostic sector and they are based out of Mumbai, they are based out of Maharashtra and dominant over here. Now, when they want to expand to a Gujarat region, for an example, so they might reach out to, so private equity guys might reach out to investment bank that we are looking to buy a company based out of Gujarat and we want to acquire 100% of it. So that is how investment bankers would once again find this diagnostic company based out of Gujarat, and then they might reach to private equity that these are the companies that we have shortlisted, uh, would you be interested in any? And when they say yes, then the entire process will be facilitated and the acquisition will be completed for the portfolio firm. So that is also a part of when PEVC would reach out to investment bank. These are the common ways where they are interacting and collaborating with one another. IB helps them find buyers, run valuation, negotiate exits efficiently. So for every exit or funding, there's an IB behind the scenes. So whenever we see that there was a million round of funding, $1 billion IPO, or these all processes, there was an acquisition by this company, then remember that all the processes were facilitated by an investment bank in the back end. So that is about the collaboration from the investment banking side and on the side of private equity and venture capital. Now, the final thing, how can you practice and start leveling up on your network? So, adding value to your career by networking is going to be very important. So, as mentioned earlier, that you have to start building your network, because to stay in this particular industry, initially it would be okay if you are very good on technical part and know all the execution part, that is valuation, building presentation and everything. But when it comes down to going to the managerial position, which is AVP or a VP level, there you need to bring in businesses, bringing deals for the for your investment bank, and there you are not going to sit the entire day and do valuation. So here you will have to start building your network from now. Start having small conversation. It's not necessary that you have conversation with everyone related to deals. Just understand their business, talk to them about their expansion plans. If you so slowly and steadily you will start building network of people where you can just share deals and updates with one another. So how you can start? Number one is attending industry events and webinars on finance and startups. So there are a lot of events around finance and startup that you can find going around, or so you just search upon Google industry events on finance, and then you might find a lot. So some might be paid, some might be free. There are a lot of startup expos that takes place. The entry ticket is not that much, because the value that you are going to get out of it will be huge. So what you can do, you can attend these startup expos, collect business card of every startup just to add network to your portfolio. So you might collect those business cards and then add all the emails to your database. You might reach out that it was great connecting with you, just wanted to know more about the startup. So that way you are going to level up and you will have a lot of people in your network. Then you need to engage with VC and IB professionals on LinkedIn. So this is going to be very easy. You might reach out to investment bankers, venture capital guys on LinkedIn, ask them about what is their roles and responsibility, how they got started into their career. So for this, we have attached a detailed questionnaire document in the description, which you can download. And whenever you have conversation, you might ask questions out of this entire questionnaire that we have given to you. So that will help you to be seen as someone who understands them and who is smart in asking questions. So that is how you are going to build trust and relationship with this IBVC people. Then read deal reports, funding news to understand the current players. So what sector is currently working, just for your sake of just for your own understanding. So whenever you start working in the industry, you know which sector to target. Whenever you go for interviews and the interviewer asks you like which sector do you think is very trending for startups, what is landscape of macro, so all of these things will be understood by you when you start reading funding news, when you start reading deal reports. Then learn how to add value through research, insights, or introduction. So this might come last when you have good amount of network in your people. So you might start doing some research papers, and you can share with venture capital guys. You can share it with investment bankers. They might have a look to it, and this way you have chances of getting referral from them as well. When you find any deal summaries or deal insights, you can share those with this with the network that you have built. And going down the line, when you have a lot of startups and a lot of ecosystem players in your network, and a particular startup reaches out to you asking if you have someone in your network that could help us with funding or something, then you might share it with the IB guys, VC guys, and then it adds more trust and value in you. So for me also, currently, since we have been on doing good on LinkedIn, we have good amount of network. A lot of startups, lot of candidates reach out to me for understanding of investment banking, and a lot of deals also come through. So since I have good network of IBVC guys, the main aim is to share these deals with them so that we have good relationship, and then anytime in the future we need help from their side, they are most happy to do so. So that is how sharing works, and you build trust and relationship. So every connection you build today could become your tomorrow's opportunity. So one more thing that I would add over here, since we have been doing good on LinkedIn, there was a director of private equity company that reached out to me for their private equity funds fundraising process. So that was just because I was posting a lot of content around investment banking. It was value addition. They found it helpful, and they thought to reach out to me. Now, when they reach out, it is your responsibility to capitalize upon the opportunity, to make the best use of it, and showcase that you can add value and you want to genuinely work on this entire thing. So that is where I also got started and understood the landscape of private equity, how it works. So if you want us to create any video around private equity, do let us know in the comments. Would be happy to do so. So that concludes the entire presentation. So now you know, when you read these kind of big funding stories of Zepto, Lenskart, Tata Group, there are unseen numbers of investors and banking working behind these deals. If you are someone who is genuinely interested in investment banking and wants to know industry insights about it, then check out our 2-hour free investment banking masterclass via link in the description below. So that is it for this video. Until then, this is Karan Damanya taking your leave.